All right, so I'm going to draw the replication of the DNA for you, and then we'll go back and finish up the PowerPoint. So we've got the two complementary strands of DNA, 5' to 3', 5' to 3'. Okay? What happened is our two strands of DNA, whoopsie, separated from each other, okay? And they can do that because they have weak hydrogen bonds holding the two halves together. So they separate from each other. So we can do this. We can copy the DNA. Okay. This forms a replication bubble because that's where the two strands unzip from each other, replication bubble. And then this is what we call the origin of replication. Okay? All right. Now, if your top strand had ATGC, then your bottom strand would have the complementary one, which would be A pairs up with T. Remember, always together, great couples, right? How our bases match up. T goes to A, G goes to C, C goes to G, right? Okay, so our complementary strand, the new complementary strand, is going to start right here. And because they're anti-parallel, the new strand is going to be 5'. So watch me, watch me, watch me. My eraser is acting as the enzyme that's making the new DNA. And because it's making new DNA, it's called DNA polymerase. I'll write that for you in a second. So watch me. We're going to start here, and we're going one solid strand. It started at 5', it's going to 3'. It's going towards the replication fork. Ooh, that pops really nicely. And there's a replication fork right here. Okay? Now, that is one solid line. So that is what we call the leading strand. The leading strand, one solid line. But down here, if it goes in this direction, because remember we have to read DNA in 5' to 3' direction. If it goes in this direction, it's not okay because it would be going the opposite, 3 to 5. So what it does, you better be watching me, you better be watching me. It's going to jump ahead and come back. Jump ahead, come back. Jump ahead, come back, and it's going to keep doing that all the way in a 5' to 3' direction. These, which are made up of hash lines, are called the lagging strand. And these fragments are called Okazaki fragments. Okay? So, forgot him. The way this is all possible is because we have an enzyme unwinding the double helix structure of DNA. And because we're an enzyme, we're going to end in an ACE, and we're unwinding the double helix, so this is called helicase. Remember how we had our little eraser, and our eraser was acting as DNA polymerase, the enzyme that's making the new DNA? Now, we obviously can't have little segments right here. It has to be a solid line eventually. So, another enzyme called ligase comes in and matches them all up. We like to call him the glue. Ligase is doing that. Now, on the other side of the origin of replication, the exact same thing is happening. So, my DNA polymerase again. Watch me, watch me, watch me. This time, I'm going to 5' to 3' direction, right? Because I'm going this way. So this time, it's flipped. This is going to be one solid line, aka your leading strand. And at the top, because it's going to be going in a 3' to 5' direction, he's going to be the lagging strand. He's going to jump ahead, come back, 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 jump ahead, come back. Your 3' to 5' direction. Again, we still have DNA polymerase making these right here and right here. And then right here in the lagging strand, made up of Okazaki fragments, we're going to have ligase, who's going to come in and close up those holes, including catching up to the original strand. So you end up with one solid new strand on the top, half old, half new. One solid strand at the bottom, half new, half old. It's what we call semi-conservative. All right? We got my leading strand, we got my lagging strand, we got the ligase, we got the Okazaki fragments. All right, so finishing up our PowerPoint. The replication fork, right there, so Y-shaped region where both of the strands of DNA are going to separate the original parental strands. Helicase is the enzyme that's going to come and unwind them. And DNA polymerase is the one that's adding the new DNA. The DNA strands will grow in 5' to 3' direction. The leading strand is always 5' to 3, right? And that's your solid line. The leading strand is solid. The line continuously towards the replication fork. The other one is the lagging strand, and it's going to be going from the 3' to 5' direction, and that's going away from the replication fork. So that's the one that's going to be segments of Okazaki fragments. Okay? We've got the same setup again. This is just one half of the replication bubble. And it's just reminding you the hydrogen bonds are those weak bonds that we come in and we break so that our thymine and adenine will separate from each other, and we can make a new adenine and a new thymine with the new strands of DNA. And that's it.